Welcome back to the adventure, everyone. You might notice that I'm standing by the entrance to the mysterious forest. We actually have a couple more things to do here. There is a boulder I asked you to remember, which I forgot about on our way back. Clear your way past the enemies. I do find that little cutscene annoying each time you pick up the piece of power or guardian acorn. But, right near that boulder is this. Dig in the centre of that square of flowers to get a secret seashell. Then lift this. Down we go. If you've played A Link to the Past, you should know this. Use the magic powder right there.
Hey kid, you woke me up from a fine nap.
Thanks a lot.
But now I'll get my revenge. Are you ready?
I'll let you carry more magic powder.
Are you ready?
And we get electrocuted.
You deserve it. Now look at all that junk you have to carry.
Take care. See you again. And we have 40 uses of the magic powder. There are 2 more locations like this throughout the island. Our next destination is just to the north, near Mr. Wright's house. There's a cave where we picked up 20 rupees earlier. Whoops. So head back into here, avoiding the likes. And we can go up here to lift this rock. 50 rupees in this chest. Not too bad. Defeat the enemies, you can knock them down holes. Very funny watching the likes go down. So we can't really progress past Goponga Swamp for the time being. Or can we make our way around? Well, we can, but it is a bit slow, really. That said, we've reached Telltale Heights where we have a couple of things to do. We can't really go too far here. But we can get a secret seashell under that boulder by the sign there. I'll grab that as well. You'll recognise the Moblin hideout just down there. And if you come over here, you'll notice we're near Dumpei's shack. Lift this rock, and this is a warp point. Several more have been added from the 4 that were in the original game. You will also notice that we're near the entrance to Mount Tamaranch. Since we're in the area, why don't we go up and have a look? You can see some of the Telltale mountain range there. But as we head up, the flapping of wings means the owl is here to deliver some more information.
The windfish sleeps long and dreamily in the egg above. When you play the 8 instruments of the sirens in front of the egg, he will awaken. This, my friend, is the only way for you to leave the island.
Very solid reminder. We get a lot of reminders about that. But if we head up Mount Tamaranch, we will see the windfish's egg. And get a pretty good view of the mountains in the north of the island. Head back down though, because we want to go east a little bit. Since we are in the area, there is another heart piece we can get. Normally you wouldn't be coming here until you're on the path to the 4th dungeon. But there's a heart piece, so I wanted to stop off here. Let's see. Might be a little easier if we go down the stairs and come back up. Oh, that's mean. But the Zol jumped to its death. I keep getting tempted to call them gels. But there we are. That makes 9 heart pieces and we're doing pretty well. We will actually be able to access the way down to Ukuku Prairie from here since we have the power bracelet. Head back out. And just go past Dampé's shack. You'll recognise the Tabal Wasteland from where we picked up our 7th heart piece and I wasn't paying attention so I fell into a hole. I was looking at our next destination. This is Manbo's Pond. There is a warp point here but we can't use it just yet. Instead, I want you to head into this house. This is Crazy Tracy's house. She's a flirtatious young lady who is a bit eccentric but not really crazy per se. She will sell you a secret medicine for either 28 or 42 rupees. Interestingly, she appears in Captain Rainbow, which was a very bizarre game released only in Japan, featuring a lot of, at the time, minor characters from Nintendo games. Little Mac was in there, horribly out of shape, but Captain Rainbow helped him get back into shape, which is probably why he had so much success with the Punch-Out reboot released the next year, and why he was motivated to get back into Smash. Tracy, on the other hand, underwent a massive redesign. She's more of a harem seeker, and is a noticeably busty blonde. I'll put that image up on screen. Very different. But let's go talk to Tracy, and I can't really do the right voice for her. I cannot do flirtatious voice as well. So, 42 rupees this time. She'll massage the medicine into us, and, as a bonus, she restores our health. So she's a little eccentric, but she's very good at heart. So, let's continue through Pothole Prairie, heading down towards the Witch's Hut and the graveyard. Don't go into the main cemetery just yet, instead cut over here. Be careful of the zombies that pop up, and let's get our shovel out. In the centre of this formation, dig for a secret seashell. So that brings us up to 13. We're doing pretty well on that in front. Jump over here, avoid the zombies as they come at you. And here we are actually on Ukuku Prairie now. So, winged Octoroks, they will jump away from you when you attack. You can time your attack to hit them when they land. Oddly enough, they will even avoid strikes with a certain item that's coming up. There is a warp point here. This is one of the warp points that was set in the original game. So, if we step onto it, at the moment we can only teleport over to Dampé's shack. So let's leave that for now. What we want to do instead, however, is head in here. There is a chest and a heart piece. With some careful maneuvering, we'll be able to get both of them. That makes 10. Not too shabby, really. And a bit of extra money. We will need it because the bow is very expensive. 980 rupees. It's a bit of a rip-off. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it, but there was a glitch you could use in the original versions. If you saved and quit while your money was counting down, then you would keep whatever money you had at the point where you saved and quit, but still have the item. So for example, you could wind up with, let's say, 800 rupees if you saved and quit at the right time, and you'd still have the bow. Now, as we maneuver this way, keep an eye on the tail parasans that pop out of the holes here. Also, remember to bomb this wall. We can't actually do anything in here just yet because we lack a certain item, but it is nonetheless vital. If we head over this way, this is a fairy fountain. So these fountains will have a little fairy in front of them which will restore your health. You might have noticed on previous screens that I actually did have a fairy in a bottle before this, and now I don't. Well, that's because I goofed in recordings and accidentally wound up saving things after I found out I wasn't recording. So I had to do things again. I'm pretty sure this is cursed because I started practicing and then decided I'd start things again because I messed up on one of the dungeons. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but I have a bad habit of screwing things up because I get caught thinking I've done everything and then I wind up not doing them. But all that rambling aside, that is fairly suspicious. We'll need to take note of that later. There's a giant skull-shaped rock down there. Bomb that. And let's get our shovel out to dig right in the centre of it, narrowly avoiding the maw of the tail parasan. You can sneak up on those winged Octoroks with a spin attack. Also beware of those flying mushrooms. Those are zeros. They are particularly annoying. They were bothersome in A Link to the Past and they're even worse in this. However, we're doing fairly well all told. We've navigated to Canalet Castle. We can't get in though, those gates are tightly locked. If you head south from Canalet, you'll encounter a few more enemies, but the path splits here. If you head south, you will be able to head off to the east and get to Animal Village once you have a certain item. Heading through this little maze area will take us down to the western edges of Martha's Bay. We should head here because we can get some secret seashells. Lifting that boulder, of course, yields one. Head into this cave if you want to head down to Martha's Bay. This also introduces us to enemies hiding under rocks. Get rid of the obstacle and you can defeat them easily. Before we head out to the south, bomb that wall, jump over here, and go up the stairs. We'll equip our shovel because we will need it outside. Zolls are pretty much just nuisance value at this point. Head around here and look for that owl statue. Oh cool, I made it jump right all the way off.
Around here, secrets are 9.
You might think this patch of earth is suspicious, but there's nothing in it. One to the south, on the other hand, is a secret seashell. Bringing us up to a pretty good mark if I do say so myself. There's nothing down here, sadly, so we can keep going. Take the short route back and head down the stairs. And avoiding the enemies will bring us down to Martha's Bay. You might recognise this area when I get to a certain point. Heading down here, you'll notice the gap 3 spaces across that is actually near that abandoned house where we picked up a secret seashell. You can see it just down there in the bottom left. If I lift the rock, a warp point has been established. And on top of that, if we can avoid the buzz blobs, coming over here will give us a view of a mermaid statue. That will be important later on. We also have a secret seashell under that bush there and a heart piece under the water. Keep this little area in mind. We can't do anything with it just yet. But we will be able to, and take note of this too. That bush hides another secret seashell. So, we'll have to head back the way we came. There is another warp point to establish, but I didn't get around to it. It is quite impressive how they've managed to translate everything from the Game Boy to the Nintendo Switch. It still feels to a degree like those classic Game Boy games. But at the same time, it's been improved so much as well. And I think keeping what the original game was, while updating things that wouldn't necessarily take away all the character, is very important. A lot of things have improved the quality of life playing the game, and we'll get mobbed by some pig warriors. Overall, I haven't really had any problems with this. I found it a very smooth and enjoyable experience. It feels like what I'm familiar with, but at the same time there was enough different to really keep me interested. There's also a shout out to A Link to the Past here.
Well, that was a surprise. Hey, I'll tell you a secret. Use your sword to poke at dungeon walls. If you hear a hollow clank, you can break the wall with a bomb.
And this one has a secret for us as well.
If you see a weird bowl all by itself in the middle of a cave, sprinkle some magic powder into it. It's a pretty good joke on the thing that lives in there.
We've already worked out that one. But we're near Seashell Mansion, and we have another secret seashell. Our search is actually going pretty well. Dig up this to reveal a warp point, which I should have done earlier, I'll admit, but I'm happy being a tour guide.
I am the spirit of the mansion. I have been waiting for someone, one who can overcome the darkness. Find the secret shells, then ascend the platform. You will receive the ultimate sword.
Of course, it didn't actually explain what the secret seashell quest was in the original games. You just had to go and find them. You'd actually get secret seashells for reaching certain marks, but once you got 20, you acquired the level 2 sword. As you can see, our searching has led us to claim a bit more. We can get 2 prizes. The first prize is for 5 secret seashells, and it is a heart piece, which gives us 11 in total. The second prize is for 15. Open this, and you will get the seashell sensor. As it says, it will allow you to search for secret seashells, and we have 18. Doing fairly well. We've explored plenty around Ukuku Prairie and a little of Martha's Bay. So I think that's actually a pretty good time to wrap things up for this episode. Once we get chased out of the way. But there is one area I do want to show you before we finish it off. Okay, that was a nice shot. If you go south from that intersection, you will see a brand new area, Pothole Field. Apologies for the deliberation. I wanted to toss up between wandering off to go and grab something, but we will get that in due time, and going down here. Anyway, Pothole Field hides a lot of holes. But if we head down here, we will notice a mysterious and somewhat crumbling villa with a fair bit of mould on it. What could be inside? We will find out on the next episode. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time on our adventure through Koholint Island.